This is the first tutorial of VLOOKUP series. This series will have 4 VLOOKUP tutorials and 1 keyboard shortcut tutorial. I will show you some most frequent uses of keyboard shortcut in first videos and simple VLOOKUP with a single column, and next 3 will show you how to VLOOKUP multiple columns using 3 different methods. I have decided to include keyboard shortcuts to tutorial and use them during the series so you can learn it as well. Once you get used to them, it will be a lot faster to operate the Excel. The first, Ctrl F1 hide show the ribbon. So Ctrl F1 to hide the ribbon, Ctrl F1 again to show the ribbon, hide. So I have hidden the ribbon now, so I can have a little more spaces. Ctrl page down or Ctrl page up, you can move around from one worksheet to another. So Ctrl page down, go to the next worksheet, Ctrl page up to previous worksheet. Arrow keys, as you see, arrow keys move around one cell to another. Control arrow keys move to end of the cell from composition. So here I'm in A1, control right arrow to all the way to the right, control left all the way to the left, control down all the way to the down, control up all the way to the up. Control page down to the table here. When you have a table like this, if you do control right, it's going to move to end of that table. Control left, beginning of the table. Control down, and edge of the table, end of the row. Control up, beginning of the row. Let's go back to keyboard shortcut tab by hitting Control page up. Shift arrow keys select the cell's direction of the arrow. So hold down Shift and arrow key, right arrow, you're selecting the row to the right. Hold down Shift and the left arrow, selecting the row to the left. Select Shift and down arrow, selecting the cells below. Shift up arrow, selecting the cells to above. And Ctrl Shift Arrow keys select the multiple cell at once. So let's go back to COVID-19 tab by clicking, hitting the Control page down, and Control Shift hold down and right key gonna select entire that row of that selection, and Control Shift down, you're gonna select entire row. Columns of that table. Control Shift left or Control Shift up. That's how you select the entire columns or rows using Control Shift and arrow key. Let's go back. Control page up. Control Spacebar select the entire column. So when you're in position, Control Spacebar will select the entire column. If you are in multiple column, Control Spacebar will select those entire multiple column. Shift Spacebar will select entire row. Shift Spacebar will select the entire row. If you are in the multiple row, Shift Spacebar will select the entire multiple rows. Once you select the entire column, you hit Control plus minus key, that will delete that column. So Control Spacebar to select the entire column, and then Control minus will delete that column. Control Z to undo that. Same thing, Shift Spacebar to select the entire row. Control minus will delete that entire row. Control Z to undo that. If you select multiple rows like this and Shift Spacebar to select the entire multiple rows, and Ctrl minus will delete those rows. Ctrl Z to undo that. Column is same way. You can use Ctrl Spacebar to select the multiple rows, and Ctrl minus to delete them. Ctrl Z to undo that. Now, same concept. Once you select the entire row or column, you use Ctrl Shift and plus key to insert columns or insert row. So here, Ctrl Spacebar to select the entire column, and then Ctrl Shift plus will insert column in front of that column selection. Ctrl Z to undo that. For the row, Shift Spacebar to select the entire row, and then Ctrl Shift plus to insert the row above that selected rows. Ctrl Z, undo it. If you wanna insert multiple rows, you can do multiple times, holding down Ctrl Shift and plus, Ctrl Z, or you can select a multiple row, how many rows you want to insert. So here 4 rows are, and Shift Spacebar and select 4 entire rows, and then Ctrl Shift plus will insert additional 4 rows above. Ctrl Z. Columns the same way. You select 2 columns and Ctrl Spacebar to select the entire column. Ctrl Shift plus will insert 2 new columns in front of those selected columns. Ctrl Z to undo. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed. See you in next tutorial.